Director Vogt, I have been waiting to have the opportunity to come back face to face with you to ask for an explanation for what I regard as absolutely depraved, I use that word again, and draconian actions to decimate our public institutions, politicize federal grant programs, to stall funding for NIH and for CDC public health programs, harming our research institutions, dismantling the CFPB. And I have to tell you, I couldn't wait to get here on behalf of the 160,000 federal employees in my state. The actions taken toward our federal employees has been evil, absolutely evil. And it is the most galling aspect of what I regard as shameful tenure at the OMB as director has been your outright animosity and blatant hostility toward our federal workers. And I haven't made this up. In fact, I'm going to read your own words that you famously said without remorse. You said, "We want the bureaucrats to be traumatically affected. When they wake up in the morning, we want them to not want to go to work because they are increasingly regarded as the villain."
The Senate hearing took a dramatic turn when Senator Lisa Blunt confronted OMB Director Russell Vought over the treatment of federal employees, government spending cuts, and the future of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. She did not hold back. She accused the administration of politicizing federal institutions, disrupting public health funding, targeting federal workers, and attempting to dramatically shrink the CFPB. But Vought pushed back, arguing that his controversial comments were aimed at bureaucracies, not career civil servants, and defended the administration's spending reductions. Then the exchange became even more heated. Let's get into it.
This is so evil. And the 150,000 federal workers who are in my state who come together, these are the patriots of our country, who've worked, many of them, for decades. They didn't care whether the president was a Democrat or Republican. They are here to serve the American people, and they will not forget how they were treated and what was said, and neither will I. And in fact, one Marylander who lost his federal job said the following: "I can't tell you how terrifying it is to be a parent of 2 children faced with the thought that you cannot provide for your family." And so I ask you, is that the kind of trauma that you were talking about? Did you intend to sow terror for parents who need to provide for their families? Is that the kind of trauma that you were anticipating?
Senator, I've explained those comments on numerous occasions. I was referring to bureaucracies and not the career civil servants that do the job. Many of those bureaucracies are weaponized against the American people. We've taken steps to deal with that, but as it pertains to civil servants, I have a very high regard for them and the work that they do.
Well, I think the words speak for themselves. I really do. I don't think anybody can say that combination of words and have it be explicable. It is inexplicable, and you continue to traumatize them this fall by issuing a memo directing agencies to prepare for mass firings that I might note the court later found were illegal. So did the workers deserve, because they feel traumatized? They were here, I saw them, they were lining up in these hallways talking to me, many of them in tears.
Senator, you shouldn't have shut the government down for more than 2 months on 2 separate occasions. You don't think that traumatized the same federal workers?
Well, you know what? Again, let me just say this. The Jedi mind trick does not work. The Republicans around here are in charge of everything. The House, the Senate,
they
and
need your
the
votes
White House.
on a bipartisan.
Well, you know what? Again, I'm going to go to my next question, but I will not fall for the Jedi mind trick that when the Republicans have the keys to the kingdom, that anything regarding a shutdown has to do with Democrats. But again, can you tell me how much money did the cuts save the American taxpayer? All of these cuts, how much did it save us?
Well, we had the most successful fiscal year that we've had, I believe, in history in 2025. We ended fiscal futility in this country. We saved about $15 billion below the level that you were able to do with the continuing resolution. We passed rescissions bills for the first time since 1992. We were able to support an appropriations process that led to $20 billion less than the previous year. Outside of those 2 shutdowns, which were something that we fought against very hard.
Well, let me just, because my time is tolling, sir, I do have another question. I would beg to differ that this has been fiscally successful. And if you call fiscally successful, whatever these cuts are, people still cannot afford their groceries, gas, utilities. So if you regard this as a fiscally successful, I still beg to differ. But I want to turn to CFPB very quickly because it seems that you're doing everything in your power to make things more unaffordable for American families, including trying to fire half of the workforce at the agency that has returned $21 billion to consumers. On April 16th, I led many of my colleagues in a letter requesting information on this incredibly short-sighted proposal and noting that this plan would force reductions of 80% within CFPB's Office of Enforcement, which is literally tasked with enforcing consumer financial laws and holding financial service providers accountable. You haven't responded to our letter in 3 months. I hope that you will. But how can the CFPB meet its statutory enforcement obligations with only 1/3 of its enforcement staff?
Don't forget to like, comment, and hit the subscribers button for more political and controversial showdowns.